Hi, Ms. Johnson. Thanks for coming up during your planning time. I just wanted to talk to you. I was doing some walks around the building today, and you remember I was in your room this morning during second period.
Oh, yeah.
I love coming in and seeing the art. I don't have an art background, and it's always so interesting what the kids are able to produce, and just amazed by it. I don't have any art talent at all, but I did notice a few things. It's September, it's early in the year, and I wanted to, we'll have observations coming up, and those are part of our evaluation. You went through all of that as a new teacher when you did your training.
Yeah.
But there were some concerns I had in the classroom, and I wanted to talk to you about that and see about us coming up with some solutions for that. And I wasn't doing an observation, but I did refer to our observation instrument. You saw a copy of that during that training.
The pre-training
thing?
Yeah,
you did.
I did, thank you.
And there was the part about instructional environment. I noticed a lot of horseplay going on in the class. There were some students in the back that were running around a table. You were working with a group at another part of the room, and that concerned me about safety. And I also noticed that you yelling quite a bit, and I think what I would call sarcasm in your comments towards some of the students. And I want to help you do the best job you can. I know you used to be a graphic designer, and you wanted to come to education to help students, and teaching is a big job. So I want to be able to help you as best as I can. What would you think about, or why do you think these problems are going on in the classroom?
Well, honestly, I don't know. I mean, you said there was a lot of horseplay, and I've never been around kids that act like this before. I mean, art's a fun class, and when I was in school, you just walked in your classroom and you sat in your desk, and the teacher started talking and you listened. And these kids, they don't want to do that. I mean, I want to have a good time, but I feel like they don't want to listen. They just want to run around and be ridiculous. I'm trying to help one student, and then the other ones are all acting crazy. And I mean, I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah. Kids are different everywhere. And you're right, back when, I'm much older than you, and back when I was in school, their conditions seem to be different. However, we do have to work with the students that are at our school. That's our job to do as teachers, and I want to be able to prepare you and help you the very best I can. What I would say that my immediate concern, I think, that you might have is classroom management techniques or strategies. And our county offers a class at night. It's going to start in October. Or no, it's starting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And if that worked within your schedule, that might be a good option for you to attend to get some classroom techniques.
Does it cost money for me to go?
Oh, no. This is a free class. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could find out what nights it meets. There's also some good resources out there. I know you came through like an alternative preparation. So we could look up some other resources, maybe something you didn't address in your training. And I know our media center has some books, and I was thinking that might be a good option for you.
All right.
But I think the best thing that would help you is our academic coach, Miss Trimble. Have you met?
Yeah, she's really nice.
We had that meeting in her classroom that day.
Yeah.
And she comes in and works. Her job is to work with teachers on just different aspects of their practice, I guess if I'd say. And I can let Ms. Trimble know what I'd like to see happen for you. And what I would like to happen for you, when I come back walking around the building, is to see more organized procedures. I'd like to see that procedures are in place for the students. They know where the materials are. They know what they're expected to do. And I'd also like to see probably a more positive classroom environment. I heard kids yelling. Sometimes kids yell because the teacher's yelling. So we always have to be a model for the students. So what I think is best is I will get that information to you about the class. I'm going to email that to you.
Okay.
Today's Thursday. What I'd like you to do is email me by Monday to let me know if you think you can take the class.
Okay.
I will get those books and I will put them in your mailbox by tomorrow. And I will talk to Ms. Trimble today. She should get in touch with you by tomorrow, I'd say.
Okay.
So, in that way, when all those things are in place, I'd like to come back and do more of a formal observation as a follow-up to this, not necessarily for this.
Okay, good. I was
Yeah.
starting to panic.
I
I want to meet with you before my final one again because, I mean, I do want to do my job and
Yeah, I know.
you know I'm just overwhelmed.
No, I know.
I mean,
teaching is a big job, and but I think it's fair that I follow up with you regarding this conversation and these strategies. And I think in 4 weeks I think I'll look at my calendar and get a date to you in about 4 weeks.
Okay.
That'll give you time to work with Ms. Trimble. Just so I make sure we both understand. Do you understand what I'd like you to do in that 4-week time?
Yeah, I need to get back with you if I want to take the class by Monday. I need to email with Ms. Trimble and set up a time for us to have ongoing meetings to address some of the issues, and I'm going to look at some of the literature that you put aside for me with the media specialist.
Yeah, and she'll initiate that email with you.
Okay,
so,
great.
Yeah, you just
Awesome.
respond, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey Amy, I'm glad we were able to get together and work our schedules out.
Yeah, I'm so relieved to be here. To be honest, when I had to have the meeting with Principal and Comas, I was just kind of freaking out. I mean, I know that things are not good in my classroom, and I'm yelling all the time. That's not who I want to be as a teacher, but I don't know what to do. I mean, the kids are just going nuts, and it doesn't seem like anything I try works, and I'm overwhelmed. And you know, I got out of graphic design to be a teacher, and I had no idea. I mean, I did a course and I did an internship, but it wasn't in a school like this. And I mean, I feel like the expectations are really, really high, and I don't really know what I could be doing to make it better. I mean, I'm doing everything I know how to do, honestly.
Well, I hear you, and I can understand because I came into the field from another profession. I have more experience than you do, but I want to just offer you some advice. But I want to just say what I hear you saying is that you really want to improve your classroom management, and right now it feels scary and overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I took those classes in my little, you know, it was like one of those quick programs, and I took the classes and I read the books, but I mean, I just don't know. I feel like I'm trying it, and I ask the kids to do things, and you know, they just don't listen, and I get upset, and I yell.
Okay, so if you could describe some of the specific behaviors, that would help me, and then we can come up with a plan. So you're saying they don't follow instructions, and then you end up raising your voice with them?
Yeah, well, like, I'll tell them, like, when they come in, first of all, they don't sit down, so I have to yell at them to sit down. And then once they're seated, I'll tell them to go get markers, and then they just get up and they just start running around the classroom.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, I'm like, just go get the markers and sit down. Like, what's the issue? You know?
Right. Well, let me suggest one author that's really been helpful to me named Harry Wong.
Okay.
And he really emphasizes classroom procedures. And if we look at how to set up the group, some procedures in advance, have things in place before the behaviors develop, that's really going to help you. I am going to have to tell you, though, that once you have some negative behaviors develop within a group, it's going to take some work to change that. And change is going to happen slowly over a period of time. The other thing is, too, that you will see improvement, but you won't capture every single student in the room. That's an unrealistic expectation that's only going to make you feel bad about yourself. So just know that developmentally, it's almost like their job to challenge the teacher.
I'm so relieved to hear you say that, because I've been going home and just been so upset. I just feel like I'm not doing a good job, and you know, I'm just so glad to have this time with you.
Yeah, well, we're going to get this worked out, and we're going to have some things go better for you. My first suggestion is that you get the kids formed into cooperative groups, and you may want to spend some time thinking about who your leaders are, what students set each other off for very provocative together, and who could be productive groups of about 4 or 5. And then we're going to give them jobs, give them a purpose when they come into the room. Some of them may be in charge of going and getting the supplies. Some may be in charge of taking attendance. Others will be in charge of reporting back at the end of the class about how things went. And so when you assign those official roles and you train them to do that, that's really going to help.
Okay.
It's all about training the students. And you are an art teacher, but you're also a teacher, and helping them mature and grow is part of your job too.
Okay.
And so you need to think of it in terms of not failing, but offering them lessons in maturity. And learning how to work in those groups is a life skill, and it'll help you because you won't be physically managing all the materials in your room.
That's overwhelming. I mean, and I think sometimes that's why I yell, because I've got kids running one place and I've got markers over here, but I really need to get the paper, and and it just, that's when I yell, that's when it happens for me.
That makes sense. The other thing that I would recommend is that you really work on making your academic expectations very clear to them.
Okay.
You can have model pieces that you use to show, and you can utilize your document camera to show those model
How do you
pieces.
work? I mean, I keep hearing people talk about these document cameras, and I've seen you during pre-planning use yours. I mean, it seems really cool, but I'm really intimidated by that, to be honest. I mean, I have some exemplars to show the kids, but they're small and they hang up on the board. I mean, I understand the issue with that. I know as an artist I couldn't just look at some little thing, but I mean, how do you even use that?
Well, we can submit a technology request,
Okay.
and our technology staff person will come and install it for
There's
you.
a staff person?
Yes, yes.
I didn't even know that. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of school culture that takes several years to decipher and figure out.
Wow. Okay.
And then you're welcome to come observe in my classroom, but it's pretty simple. My document camera only has 2 buttons, and we'll get you up to speed on it.
Okay.
Also, I'm not an artist, so I know there may be some pieces that you want to allow the students to handle and that you would pass around the room. But expectations would also include grading requirements,
Okay.
how to evaluate those. And if they know in advance, that would really help.
Okay.
And I don't want to overwhelm you with too many new strategies at once, but my last one kind of goes along with the clear expectations, and it's giving feedback. Sometimes students, you need to think in terms of formative and summative assessments.
I remember that from school.
Yeah,
Okay.
and as they begin to come near the end of a project, or as they go through the stages of completing something, let them know by using student samples in the classroom, volunteers, the pros and cons, what they've done right, what they need to improve on,
That's a
and
good
what
idea.
next steps are.
Do they?
Yes.
I guess they would probably want to do better too, because everybody wants to be recognized, right?
Right.
Okay, cool.
And in the future, you can even investigate what's called a data wall, because your
Okay.
exemplary students, you could display their work. And as students get more and more positive feedback in your classroom, it's going to help a lot.
Okay, great. Well, I feel like I've got some places to start with, and will you help me put in the technology request?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna start getting my class into cooperative groups and set some expectations, and maybe when I meet with you next, we can talk about how the expectations worked or they didn't work.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I feel like it's gonna be in a better place.
Yeah.
So, great.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
you're going to do great.
Thank you.